So please be seated and put your phones on silent. Thank you.
For those who are arriving late, can you come in the front? So the same thing is happening. All the back seats are filled up. सामने आ जाओ. এই মিস্টার মাধুরী পিজিপি অফিস থেকে কেউ আছে? প্রহ্লাদ এদেরকে সামনে আসতে বল.
Hi all, please make sure you're all seated and your mobile phones are on silent. Thank you.
Settle down, please. This is not a classroom. थोड़ा बैठ जाओ जल्दी सामने आ जाओ. That's okay. You don't have to find out a suitable seat.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I Am Calcutta completes 64 years of its glorious existence. It is a day for celebration, joy, and remembrance. It is a day for introspection. In addition, it is a day to communicate our firm resolve to chart a distinctive path as a preeminent institution of management education. For the past 6 decades, we have had our share of contributions to the nation. Our Rashtra Seva has been through nurturing and shaping bright young minds who have often made us proud through their accomplishments in different walks of life. I welcome you all to the Foundation Day celebration of the Institute and the Distinguished Alumnus Award Ceremony 2024.
May I now invite on stage Sri Krishna Kulkarni, Chairman, Board of Governors of IIM Calcutta. Director in charge, IIM Calcutta, Professor Shoibal Chattopadhyay. Dean of Development and External Relations, Professor Shumanto Basu.
Continue.
Chairperson, MBA Program, Professor Shomokanti Chakraborty. Dean of Education, Rajesh Babu. Okay. Dean of Academic Programs, Professor Bhaskar Chakraborty. I would now like to request the chief guest, Ajay Chowdhry, to please come on stage. Thank you, sir. To begin the 35th Institute Lecture Series of the Institute, may I now invite Professor Shomokanti Chakraborty, Chairperson MBA Program, to say a few words about the lecture series.
Dr. Ajay Chowdhry, our chief guest, Sri Krishna Kulkarni, Chairman, Board of Governors, Professor Shoibal Chattopadhyay, Director in Charge, members of the Board of Governors, Professor Bhaskar Chakraborty, Dean, Academic Programs, Professor Piyush Mehta, Dean, Faculty and Research, Professor Rajesh Babu, Dean, Executive Education, Professor Sumanto Basu, Dean, Development and External Relations, distinguished alumnus awardees for the year 2024, faculty colleagues, students, officers and staff of the Institute, alumni, members of the press and media, our honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct honor to welcome you all to the 35th lecture of the Institute Lecture Series. Since its inception in 2009, this lecture series has become a cornerstone of our Institute's commitment to fostering meaningful dialogue on critical issues and engaging with thought leaders from various fields to enrich our understanding of the challenges and opportunities shaping our world. The Institute Lecture Series is more than just a series of talks. It is a platform for insightful discussions, intellectual growth, and inspiration. Each lecture brings our students, faculty, and guests into contact with influential voices from academia, industry, government, and beyond. Offers perspectives that challenge us to think deeply about the social, economic, and technological transformations that define our era. Through these interactions, we aim to cultivate a broader and more nuanced understanding of our role as responsible citizens and future leaders. Over the years, we have had the privilege of hosting some truly distinguished speakers. These include His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Dr. S. Jaishankar, Dr. Kiran Bedi, Dr. Sam Pitroda, Professor Muhammad Yunus, Professor Kaushik Basu. Today, it is our privilege to welcome Dr. Ajay Chowdhry, co-founder of HCL and chairman of the EPIC Foundation, as our esteemed chief guest. Dr. Chowdhry is a visionary in the field of information technology and one of the pioneers of the Indian IT industry. His leadership and commitment to technological advancement have helped lay the foundation for India's emergence as a global technology hub. We are deeply grateful to him for accepting our invitation and for sharing his valuable insights with us. On behalf of our entire institute, I extend a heartfelt welcome to Dr. Chowdhry, and I thank him, as well as all of you, for being part of this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would now like to invite Professor Basu, Dean of Development and External Relations, to say a few words about the Distinguished Alumnus Award.
Thank you. Dr. Rajesh Chowdhry, co-founder HCL and chairman EPIC Foundation, our chief guest today. Sri Krishna Kulkarni, chairman BOG IIM Calcutta. Professor Shoibal Chattopadhyay, director in charge IIM Calcutta. Members of the Board of Governors, Professor Bhaskar Chakraborty, Professor Piyush Mehta, Professor Rajesh Babu R, Deans, Professor Soumyakanti Chakraborty, Chairperson MBA Programs, distinguished alumnus awardees for the year 2024, my colleagues and students, and our honored guests, the ones who are here with us in the auditorium and the ones who have joined us virtually. It is my honor and privilege to announce the names of the recipients of IIM Calcutta's Distinguished Alumnus Award for the year 2024 on the 64th Foundation Day of the Institute. Before I do so, it is only appropriate that I say a few words about the Distinguished Alumnus Award. The Distinguished Alumnus Award was instituted in the year 2011, the Golden Jubilee year of the Institute. So far, 75 of our illustrious alumnus have been conferred with this award. With 3 awards being conferred this afternoon, we reach the total number of 78. The Distinguished Alumnus Award of 2024 is our modest way of honoring and felicitating those of our alumni who have made significant contributions to corporate leadership, entrepreneurship, and public policy. This award is also meant to confer recognition on those of our alumni who have contributed to IIM Calcutta through their continued support and engagement in activities related to institutional development. Through the award, the Institute recognizes the extraordinary accomplishments and contributions of our alumni in different fields of activities. It is also a token of our collective tribute to an individual's ability, his or her success, and all those attributes that make the person worthy of all the laurels that he or she is getting. All that is indeed true for the 3 eminent alumni who will be awarded today. At the same time, for us here at IIM Calcutta, this award is also our humble communication to the world that, look, such distinguished people with such extraordinary qualities and achievements once walked through the same campus as students and roamed through our lush green Joka campus, experiencing the serenity of the 7 lakes and waking up to the chirping of the birds. Like all our students, the bright young minds of the awardees helped us grow as an institution, just as they grew during the 2 years that we were together. We learned from them as much as they learned from us. And it is this mutuality that has given us the distinctive identity that we are celebrating this year as the Institute's 64th Foundation Day. Thus, the Distinguished Alumnus Award ceremony is a way of celebrating our collective glory that has been made as Joka Tribe, as our students proudly call themselves. This ceremony gives us the forum to celebrate our pursuit of excellence, connect, collective learning, and our firm commitment to see the Indian Institute of Management Calcutta reach greater heights as it prepares for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite Professor Saibal Chattopadhyay, Director in Charge, IIM Calcutta, to welcome the chief guest.
Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Ajay Chowdhry, Co-founder HCL and Chairman EPIC Foundation, Sri Krishna Kulkarni, Chairperson, Board of Governors, IIM Calcutta, Professor Sumanto Basu, Dean Development and External Relations, Professor Bhaskar Chakraborty, Dean Academic Programs, the other 2 Deans, Professor Piyush Mehta, Dean Faculty and Research, and Professor R. Rajesh Babu, Dean Executive Education, IIM Calcutta, distinguished alumni, members of the Board of Governors, faculty colleagues, students of the doctoral program, the MBA and PGDBA programs, MBA EX and PGP EX FLM programs, officers and staff of the Institute, members of the press and media, ladies and gentlemen. A very good afternoon to all of you. It is my distinct honor to welcome each one of you as we gather today to celebrate the 64th Annual Foundation Day of IIM Calcutta. I would like to mention that every year the Foundation Day lecture is delivered by a person of eminence who has made a very significant impact in his chosen field of endeavor. In the last few years, some of our distinguished chief guests to deliver the Institute's Foundation Day lectures were Sri Sudhish Venkatesh, the Chief Communications Officer and Managing Editor of the Ajim Premji Foundation, Sri Sam Srinivasan, Managing Director and CEO of the Federal Bank, Sri Pradeep Singh Kharola, IAS Officer and former Chairman and Managing Director, Air India, Jagdeep Dhankar, Honorable former Governor of West Bengal and present Vice President of India, Sri Amlok Ratan Kohli, a first batch alumnus and former Honorable former Governor of Mizoram, Professor Deepesh Chakraborty, Lawrence Kimpton, Distinguished Service Professor in History at the University of Chicago, and the like. This year, we are extremely fortunate to have amongst us Dr. Ajay Chowdhry, co-founder HCL and chairman EPIC Foundation, as the chief guest of today's event. On behalf of the Institute, I sincerely thank him for accepting our invitation to grace today's occasion as the chief guest. A few words about Dr. Chowdhry, the co-founder of HCL. He is regarded as the father of Indian hardware. He is chairman of Mission Governing Board of National Quantum Mission of India, distinguished fellow at Niti Aayog, fellow at Indian National Academy of Engineers, and member to the advisory board of India Semiconductor Mission. He continues to serve on several government committees, working towards making India the electronics hub of the world. For his pioneering contributions, he was conferred India's third highest civilian award, the Padma Bhushan, in 2011. His inspirational journey is captured in his best-selling memoir, Just Aspire, a notes on technology, entrepreneurship, and the future. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Chowdhry to grace this occasion today. IIM Calcutta, the first national level institute in the field of management education, was set up in 1961 by the Government of India in collaboration with the Sloan School of Management at MIT, USA, with the support of the State Government of West Bengal and the Ford Foundation. We celebrated our Diamond Jubilee in 2020. IMC has come a long way from its small beginning, and today it is acknowledged as one of the best institutions not only in the country, but also in the Asia-Pacific region. The institute got the accreditation status from AACSB, AMBA, and EQUIS. With these three accreditations, we became the first Indian business school to achieve what is called and regarded as the Triple Crown in accreditation. They are accredited by all three major accreditation agencies in the world of management education. Since 2012, IIM Calcutta is also the only Indian member of SAMS, which is the Global Alliance of Leading Business Schools, multinational companies and NGOs that together offer the highly ranked SAMS Masters in International Management. The Institute continuously maintains its top international ranking. In QS MIM ranking 2025, our flagship MBA has been ranked 48 in the world. In QS Global MBA ranking 2025, our one-year MBA EX program has been ranked 65 in the world out of 340 business schools and 11 in Asia. In QS Masters in Business Analytics ranking 2025, our PGDBA program has been ranked in the 61 to 70 slot out of the 164 business schools. In FT Masters in Management ranking 2024, the flagship MBA program has been ranked 56 in the world, and so on. Apart from offering a 2-year degree in Masters in Management, Masters in Business Administration, IIM Calcutta also offers a 1-year full-time postgraduate program for executives, launched in 2006, now known as MBA-EX, equivalent to MBA, 1-year MBA, and a 1-year postgraduate program for executives in visionary leadership in manufacturing, launched in 2007, jointly with IIT Madras and IIT Kanpur. The postgraduate diploma in business analytics, jointly offered by IIM Calcutta, IIT Kharagpur, and ISI Kolkata, aims to help shape the emerging profession of business analytics to build a career in this field. The institute has set up several interdisciplinary centers which are involved in teaching, research, and consultancy. The most recent one that we have established a couple of months back is the Madan Mohanka and Lalit Mohanka Center of Excellence in Entrepreneurship and Innovation, with a very generous fund from Mr. Madan Mohanka, an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad. We also have some top centers doing research and teaching: Management Center for Human Values, Center for Corporate Governance, Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, that was there for a while, Center for Development and Environment Policy, Case Research Center, and also the Financial Research and Trading Laboratory, that was also about 10-12 years back, with some support from the Government of India. Our library, the B.C. Roy Memorial Library, is one of the largest management libraries in Asia. And we take pride in continuously adding to the wonderful collection of books, not just in management, virtually in every discipline related to management. Our alumni, many of our alumni work in senior leadership positions in industry, governments, and non-profit organizations in India and abroad. Many of them are in academics and are making valuable contributions in the areas of teaching, research, and management consultancy. One major notable event that we have organized is a session on spiritual and ethical values in management institutions, how management institutions can provide a holistic perspective on leadership and decision making. Our Management Center for Human Values hosted a session on spiritual awakening with Padma Bhushan recipient Sri Madhukar Nath, also known as Sri M, Indian yogi, spiritual guide, orator, and educationist of global repute. As we look to the future, let us remain adaptable and forward-thinking. The world is changing rapidly, and we must equip our students with the skills necessary to thrive in an ever-evolving landscape. Together, we can continue to build an institution that excels in academia and contributes meaningfully to our communities. Thank you all for being a part of this special day. Here is to our shared journey and the many milestones yet to come. Once again, my best wishes to all of you on the occasion of the celebration of our 64th Foundation Day. Thank you and Jai Hind.
May I now invite Dr. Ajay Chowdhry, the chief guest for the Foundation Day lecture. Sir, please.
I don't need to connect. Can I just put this down? इसको नीचे कर दूँ मैं? हाँ सर. ठीक. I'll put my yeah. Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the chairman and the director and the faculty for inviting me here today. And IMC has been a very deeply connected in a lot of ways with HCL. When we founded HCL in 1976, we decided that we must have some top students from an institute. And we selected IIM Calcutta at that time. And when we came here for our presentation to students, they all felt that we were starting on the right track. We were going to make computers in India for the first time. But at the end of our presentation, lots of students got up and said, "Looks very exciting, but very risky for us to join you." Because those days there was nothing called startups. And we were a startup. So our answer to that was, we are not offering you a job. We are offering you adventure. And so 5 students from IIM Calcutta joined us, and that became our first marketing and strategy organization for the country. I'm also still in touch with all 5 of them. Unfortunately, we lost one. And later on, another one joined, who became the 6th one, all from the 13th batch of 1976. So when we celebrated 25 years of HCL, I invited all of them to come to Delhi, and we recognized all of them as being the first batch of HCL. So let me now talk about what I had planned to talk about, and that is the country is now at a very different situation than where it was 20, 25 years ago. We've done very well as a country, and we have really grown some of our areas brilliantly. For example, our software exports have now grown up to close to $300 billion. Just imagine if we didn't have software exports, where would we would be in terms of foreign exchange. So I think tremendous contribution from the software industry, and the most amazing part of the software industry is that 99% of the companies were firstborn. That's all the Indian companies I'm talking about. So they didn't come from any existing corporation except 1 or 2, most of them created by entrepreneurs. But now the situation is changing. And as the director says, it's a very different world today. And we now, as a country, need to think very hard about where we should go from here in the next 20, 25 years. Should we continue to do more of what we have been doing? Or should we think of a new direction for ourselves? And how we can shape the new economy of this country in a different way. So let me elaborate. Fundamentally, the way I look at it is that India risks growing old before becoming rich. We are stuck in the middle income trap. A lot of countries have gone through that. Look at Korea, look at China, look at Thailand. A lot of them went through this middle income trap. But we are still way below in terms of GDP per person, when you compare it with South Korea, China, Thailand. Thailand is another interesting example. It grew extremely well and has a much better GDP per person than us, but it's not stalling. Why is it stalling? And that's really what we should think as to what should we do to take it forward. So what's really happening is that jobs and automation are getting connected. And as a result, we need to create new jobs. And we need to compensate for jobs that are being lost. AI is making its appearance in a very big way. It is going to have a huge influence on many of the service industries, including the software industry, which we are very proud of. But if you look at BPO, do you really need call center agents anymore? If you look at software, do you need to do programming anymore? So a lot of these things are getting replaced by automation and AI. And there is another very important factor that we need to look at. I call it the China factor. Given our over-reliance on China for capital goods, we need new strategies to power our growth. We cannot just depend on China. So what's been our journey till now? Literally, job work has been our bread and butter. What do I mean by job work? Basically, services. So if we look at the 1991 reforms, it gave us physical infrastructure, it gave us telecom infrastructure, and it has given us digital infrastructure. But we are all majorly in the services business. Look at airlines, look at the textile industry, pharmaceuticals. We are really doing low-end work. We are not at the higher end of the work. If you look at telecom services, you look at diamond cutting industry, all low value addition, all services orientation. But this job work that we have been doing is seriously at risk. And as I said, headwinds are there for it because digitization and AI are going to change everything, and this has to lead to a new method of value capture. What should we do? And therefore, what should we now look at? So literally the way we look at it, and I work with, we've created a small think tank, and we've created what I'm telling you today. So the right structure typically results from unseen markets. So if you see unseen markets in India, if you look at garment export, for example, where is the value capture? Is it in making garments, or is it in making the industrial sewing machines? So the high end of the value is in industrial sewing machines. The low end of the value is in garment exports. So that's where we are stuck in everything we are doing, except maybe some services like software, etc., and engineering, R&D exports. So where do we need to go? We need to move from textiles to industrial sewing machines. That's where the value addition is. We don't make any diamond cutting machines. All the value addition is in China, not in India. And so on. So if we look at literally every part of what we are doing today, we are at the low end of the value chain. Electronics, there's huge talk about being the second largest phone manufacturing country in the world. But what are we really doing here? If we look at Apple, we look at all the EMS companies, electronic manufacturing services company, we are at 5%, 8%, 10% value addition. We are pretty much doing screwdriver technology. So this is something that we need to change. And we need to literally move from being an airlines country to being an aircraft country. We should make our own aircrafts. That's really where we should be. We can't just stay at basic electronics. We have to make electronic chips, semiconductor chips also. So from telecom services, we need to move to telecom products. And there's tremendous opportunity to do so. So let me elaborate. The Soviet model in the 1930s was created around the Academy of Sciences. And it was the top institution from 1925 to 1991. But what is the model the United States followed? The United States followed what I call the Vannevar Bush model. Vannevar Bush was the chief scientist in 1945. And in 1945, he wrote a manifesto where he says, if America has to succeed, it has to succeed on the basis of science and technology. So this amazing manifesto, you can Google it and find it, resulted in a complete change in America, where DARPA got set up, the Defense Organization, NSA got set up, NASA got set up, and all of this resulted in Silicon Valley happening. And that is the leadership position that America today occupies. And parallel to that, during that period, America made tuition free for foreign students. So they could get them to come to the United States, stay there and work there. And that's how they created the manpower as well. Now, what is the course correction we have to do to get to being a developed country? Our model has to move away from that good old Soviet model. We created a lot of research institutions in the country which are government run. But the results are really not to be seen. If you look at the CSIR budget today, I think maybe 5,000, 6,000 crores. Inside that, only 400 crores is available for R&D. The rest is all salaries. So what have we delivered through our existing scientific research model? It's very limited. And therefore, we now need to think differently. So what should we do? The old model of innovation has not delivered. We need to now create a completely new model. And therefore, few breakthroughs in India have created some amazing innovations. One innovation is the digital public infrastructure. We have the world's best. When I used to walk into a drawing room conversation 10, 15 years ago, everyone used to ask me, hey, you guys are running software and hardware, but why don't we have a Microsoft and Google or any of these companies in India? Why don't we have products like that? Today we have. So we have a DPI product, which is world beater. In addition to that, there are 3 other bright spots in what we have done. They're all fundamentally based on doing research in India, creating products in India, and that is where we have been successful. So the second example of it is the 4G, 5G stack that was created by a company called Tejas in Bangalore, which was later on bought over by Tatas. And recently, the government decided to offer given them a 13,000 crore order for laying out all of 4G for BSNL and later on 5G. So these are all interesting things that have happened in India. Another one which everybody knows about is the vaccine. We created Covaxin in India in 8 months flat, right? Although WHO tried to put us down in many ways and didn't accept it, but Indians accepted it. And then fourth recent one is the Vande Bharat train. I actually happened to watch the presentation of the chief engineer of ICF, and he said that without any technology transfer, without any joint venture, we have created this product ground up. And today, a Vande Bharat train has only 4% imported content. All right, so we can see these great examples in front of us. We now need to take these 4 examples ahead in much bigger way, scale it. And therefore, we now need to sort of do something totally different. We have not done R&D in private sector at all. It's a very poor state of affairs. So we now need to move towards R&D-led innovation and development in the country. This should not be alone in the government sector. It has to be in the private sector. So if you look at the model which was created by Vannevar Bush in the United States, they encouraged private companies to create products. So DARPA created many products of its own because of what they were doing. They were challenging various corporates. They were saying, build this product. If you build this product, we will buy this product from you. And we will give you money to build this product. That is the model that was created. The public money went into private R&D funding. And this is something that is very much alive even today. Even today, Elon Musk's company gets funding from the United States government for technology and development. Apple has created many products of its together with funding from the federal government and universities working together with Apple. So this is the model that we now need to look at for India. We need to put public money into private. And also we now need to very seriously think about the change that we have to make from services to being a product nation. If we remain in services, we will stall. That's what's happened to Thailand. Thailand was growing like crazy, and now their whole growth has stalled. We now need to take the R&D and product route for this country, away from that reliance just on services. I'm not saying stop services. I'm saying increase R&D, increase product development, find areas where we can be pretty much number 1, number 2, number 3 in the world. Find areas where the market size is $200 billion and more, and look at not just India, but create products in India for the world. I think that is the right direction for the country to take, so that we will be at the higher value end of anything that we do, rather than the just screwdriver technology or the low end of the manufacturing that we are doing today. So literally, Make in India has to move from design and from just Make in India to design and Make in India. If you look at the highest value capture is where brands get created, designs get created, and the rest happens elsewhere. So if an Apple phone costs $1,500, the majority of the value addition and IP sits in the United States, not in China or India. We just get a very small piece of the $1,500. So where do we need to go? Today we've had some great process innovation in the country. People like Indigo, people like Airtel, people like Sun Pharmaceuticals have done tremendous amount of process innovation and improved processes. We need to now go towards combinational innovation and deep innovation. That's really the direction we have to take. And we have to create moats around what we do. So that is the area that we believe is required. Now, if you look at what is happening today in the country, many new areas have opened up for us to take a leadership position. But we just don't need to look at sunrise sectors. We should look at large sectors and mature sectors where you can create our own technology. We can't just remain dependent on China. Our dependence on China is too much today. And that is something that we have to go and change. So this whole model needs to be, as I said, run by the private sector with funding from the government. We need to focus on ecosystems, and we need to focus on commercialization and IP being created in India. And that's where we should go. In Japan, there are completely different models that have been created. These models are called focused research organizations, where industry and government and academia come together, look at a specific product area, and then create products in that area. So if you look at pick up any phone, you will find the optics, everything in optics is from Japan. So it was created in these focused research organizations that were sort of created in Japan. And therefore, when we started to look at where we should put our money, where should we invest, what should we do, we sort of started looking at about 10 to 12 or 14 areas where we should put our R&D resources and create products for India and the world. And these kind of areas are areas like artificial intelligence, semiconductors, two-wheeler EVs, space tech, and we've forgotten nuclear in this country. We have only worked on large nuclear plants. Today, that whole game has changed. We now need to work at MMR level, the module-based reactors. So we need to change the way we need to work. Similarly in fintech, similarly in genetics, if we want to look at drones, we want to look at a whole bunch of new areas. And what we should do is that there's a lot of startup interest that is there in most of these areas. We need to fund startups. We need to put government money on startups. We need to create products for India and then create it, send it to the world, so that our ratio of services to commodities completely changes. This will take 10, 15, 20 years. It's not going to happen overnight. But if we start working on it today, it will happen. And what we need to do, therefore, is to get government to invest into private sector. So this whole idea, which we created, a bunch of us, about 15, 20 of us sat down and created a think tank, and we started working and thinking on this. We said, this is what we need to take to the government. And we need to achieve circle of 5 in the next 15, 20 years. That is, we must create organizations and companies which can be among the top 5 in the world. And if we work towards that, we can make it happen. And that is where we should put all our resources rather than just keep looking at services. Services will take care of itself. There's so much concern all over the world in terms of aging populations in different countries. There's enough Indians out here to go and work there. So there is, I don't think, any issue about services at all. We will have large opportunities happening. But we also need to develop ecosystems. What are these ecosystems? If you look at what happened in China, they decided they're going to make Huawei a global company. That was decided 20 years ago, right? They have made Huawei today a global company. It's equal to Nokia, Ericsson, and Samsung. And in typical telecom language, we call it HENS, which is Huawei, Ericsson, Nokia, and Samsung. Today, we have an opportunity to change HENS to TENS, because we now have this 4G, 5G capability by which we can replace Huawei all over the world. Reason is that nobody trusts China. The United States wants to rip out all the Chinese products and replace it with trusted products. Who's got the opportunity today? Tata's with Tejas, Ericsson, Nokia, and Samsung. So maybe in 10 years, we will have a TENS rather than HENS. This is really what we should be doing. We should be creating these large private companies that can actually take on the world. And what should we do is that we should put money from the government into private sector and also give the private sector and startup business from the government, which is exactly what China did for Huawei. Every telecom bid was given to Huawei. What has China done today? In every government office, no foreign PC is allowed. So they actually have given all their demand to their own companies to get them to scale. And we call it demand aggregation. This is something that various central government and state governments should do. We should have export focus. We should have really global competitiveness. We should look at development of core engines, like what we did with digital public infrastructure. And as I said, R&D focus is absolutely essential. And we need to change the regulation structure of this country. The regulation in this country is completely cholesterol today. It's really, really bad. It actually inhibits innovation. And lastly, branding of Indian products has to be done. If you look at Israel, they've done fantastic job. Template that I believe is required for the country, and we must ensure that we walk a different road now. In the next 20 years, we need to convert India to be a product nation. Why should we do that? There's more reasons than one. One reason is that we need to change because we need to do more innovation. And number two, you look at the opportunity that is staring at us today. When 10 years ago, China +1 became an interesting subject, Vietnam moved very fast and became China +1. India got left behind. We are now doing a catch-up on various products and manufacturing in India, but we are still, look at the exports from China, from Vietnam. Vietnam exports are $120 billion today. Where are we sitting? We are sitting at 50. So, this is the kind of change we need to think in terms of making India a product nation. And we now need to also have various state governments in the country not do what we have been doing till yesterday. Till yesterday, everybody was wanting to set up software companies, BPO companies, GCC. All of that is all you hear from different states. That is old hat. We now need to move towards a completely different model to change the economy the way it is and get out of this middle income trap. Otherwise, we'll just continue to stay there and won't become a developed country. And therefore, we actually have had a discussion with central government on many times. And during this budget, we managed to get 1 lakh crore of money put aside for R&D support to private sector. To saddle, he's going to put 60% duties on every Chinese product that is imported into America. 20% duty will be put on every other country. But India will have a 40% advantage of price over China. Because 60% is what they will charge for Chinese products. Indian products will draw 20%, 40% benefit. We need to look at that as a huge opportunity. And therefore, it's not going to happen overnight, but we need to start yesterday. If we have a fab in this country, where are the electronic product companies and chip companies that are existing in India? They will be the customers. Samsung is not going to buy a chip from India. Apple is not going to buy a chip from India. It's the Indian companies that will buy. And that is what ecosystem that needs to be created. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll now open up for a short Q&A session. I urge the audience to take advantage of the opportunity and ask some questions.
Hi, Sam Arul.
Where are you? I can't see you. Okay, please stand up. Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Harsha. Firstly, thank you for the session. My question was that given that a lot of these sectors take a lot of time, take a lot of investment, say you take aerospace, you can't just get up and say next year set up Boeing. You have to go through the process of developing that ecosystem, starting with, say, enhancing the capabilities of, say, an HAL. To your mind, how long, even in an optimistic scenario, does that process take? And what are the steps involved, say, in different 5-year windows in that?
See, the good news is that the Indian startup ecosystem is getting developed brilliantly. So if you look at the space tech sector, there are close to 250 startups. One of the startups that I have invested in space tech is located in Hyderabad, and they already have 3 satellites flying around. And they started only 5 years ago. So this kind of innovation is happening in startups in a very big way. The same goes for drones. Large number of drone companies are there. Same goes for 3-wheeler EVs. But what we now need to do is not just assemble products in India, but design products in India. So the drones are not getting designed here. They are being assembled here. So we get all kinds of components from China. All chips come from China. Every controller comes from China. Why is that? We need to change that. We need to design our own products there. And if we do that, then we'll have a tremendous competitive advantage as we go forward, because each and every now need to accelerate that much faster. You see, we can't keep on growing linearly. We need to go exponentially if we want to get out of the middle income trap.
I just wanted to add one thing. He has given you the details, but there is one detail. You're Shankar, is it? What?
Harsha, sir.
Harsha. You know, if you carefully see what he said, the one word that he's using regularly is we need to do that, we need to do that, right? Now let me tell you, there is no, the crux of your question, how long, I understand that spirit, because at your age, you have to take a decision whether you want to invest how much time in this, right? That's an awesome question. And if you're already contemplating, and if even 50% of this class sitting here is contemplating that, I think we've done our job. But the next step is, will you, won't you? And that's what makes the difference between a developed nation and a developing nation. It's easy to buy a house. It's easy to rent a house. It's difficult to make a house. So if your generation...
Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge and insights. I would now like to invite Professor Bhaskar Chakraborty to deliver the vote of thanks.
Yeah, maybe we can go with two more quick questions. Is that okay? No quick questions, we suppose. Is that so?
Yeah, hi. I'm Shankar Banerjee. I'm an alumni of this place. So one of the things we went was from license Raj to regulation Raj. I mean, we lost a good deal of our development in the license Raj. Now I suspect we are slowing down quite badly because of not just over-regulation, but too detailed regulation. Even if sensible, too many regulations can often cause a lot of side effects. So how do we tackle this? I mean, how do you go back to more moderate, less intrusive regulation?
It's the most important question that you asked. I talked about regulation cholesterol. It's huge in this country. When I sat and talked to the gentleman in Hyderabad who developed the Covaxin, the founder, he says, this regulation is killing me. It's stopping my growth. So this is a subject that few of us have picked up with the government. And we are talking about it as ease of doing business. And interestingly, government is listening. But we now need to automate all of that. So the suggestion we have given to the government is, don't do it the way you're doing it today. Use it. You do it through a digital public infrastructure type of solution. And that is what will change all of this, because the process is too long. I mean, for example, if a medtech company decides to make a product, it takes them 6 months to get approvals. Those are kind of things which are not going to help us at all. If we have a 40% advantage selling to America and we don't take those decisions today, then that opportunity will all go away. Today, we lost a China plus one opportunity. Today, we have a China plus two opportunity in a manner. If we can design and make products, replace China as a product nation, we have a great opportunity ahead of us. But regulation is definitely something that needs to be seriously looked at.
You know, to your question, I'm going to request Professor Scheibel, because in his talk he shared with you that we have this entrepreneurship center. And your question that how can you go bridge that gap, I think it's a very important research topic which can be done, and if you have the heft of IIM Calcutta's brand equity behind, it can give necessary policy interventions. And when you have friends like Mr. Ajay and others, and the academic acumen of this entire IIM Calcutta community, it's just a question of what your priorities are. Will you take this up as a research topic and work it to the end and come out with 5-6 recommendations which are policy interventions? I don't think any government babu will say no to it. They're right now making interventions based on what they think, but when you have this kind of...
When I happen to talk to a lot of education and research institutions, there is a need also for ease of doing research. Because today, when a researcher starts to work on anything, it takes him 6 to 12 months to get any equipment, because the process is so damn long. You know, first of all, they have to say it has to be less than 200 crores. Secondly, they have to go to GEM portal. All these regulations have come in the last few years, which are actually stemming the whole area. So actually, interestingly, this is something that we have picked up with the Ministry of HRD, and they have actually asked us to prepare a note on how to improve research work, and how to reduce the time to do research, and how to make it easier than what it is today. So these kind of issues will be there. We need to sort them out. We can't just run away from saying that we are not going to do it. We have to do it. And if IIM can play a major role in working on ease of doing business, I think that will be a fantastic contribution to the country.
I think I'm one of the oldest persons in this auditorium right now. So I mean, taking indulgence of your time and get an opportunity to speak. 2 points. One is, frankly, not perhaps right in the court of your topic today. There is a general fear amongst us, the older generation, that AI, experts on whom are sitting in this auditorium today, AI can turn a demographic dividend into a demographic disaster or demographic debt. When we are planning such lofty visions of product country and from service country, are we thinking also how to make sure that about, if I just take the below 15% of the top income level, but from 15 to 50%, not talking about the absolute poor, that slab, which will amount to about 160 million people in this country, and many of whom are in the age group of between, say, 20 to 35, are neither in the college or school, nor in the factory or in the workplace, often going back to village post-COVID. So all these visions that we are talking about now, will that be able to help us to provide jobs, employment, and a sustainable livelihood to this pretty large number called about 160 million of middle class or lower middle class of India?
So in a manner, what you're concerned about is that AI, like technology, will come in and destroy jobs.
In a way,
now,
not all jobs, but some jobs.
But definitely some jobs. Yes, you will not be able to do call centers from India anymore. You won't be able to do programming from India anymore. All these will be taken over by AI. But newer jobs will get created. If you look at Accenture's last quarter results, it shows the phenomenal growth in AI business that they are getting. And the same thing is happening for the HCLs of the world, the Tech Mahindras of the world. Everyone is now getting AI business rather than what they used to do before. So that is part one. Part two is that we have to also look at what is happening to countries like various countries in Europe and the US, Japan and Korea. All those countries are aging. And when these countries are aging, they need younger people. And these younger people are in large numbers in India. So I think there's a great opportunity for Indians to work world over. And if they have the right skills, they will get very well paying jobs anywhere in the world. Because today, Japan cannot last without people from India. Even Taiwan is now importing people from India. It's a very major change that is happening. And this is something that will be not something that will get touched by the AIs of the world at all. These jobs will exist and these jobs have to be done. A truck driver cannot be replaced. You know, a truck driver has to be a truck driver. A fellow who has to do even simple things like, fixing a tap in the house, etc., etc., all that needs people. So I think those jobs will exist and grow, because if we can move all over the world with these kind of skills, then every country is skill shortage today, except India.
You know, I think that question is something on which this platform never discusses that, because we always touch the technology, value add. These are all sexy parts of the world, but everybody has to eat. And I don't think AI will get into agriculture. They can't grow wheat, they can't grow rice. You need farmers. But what are the problems of the agriculture industry? And what is the job employment there? You may have some IIM alum saying that, you know, services is the right way to go, manufacturing is not the right way to go, agriculture is not our future. I think we need to look at it seriously. After COVID, you realized when COVID happened, nobody was talking about AI, it was about survival. And India can be the food basket of the world, and that is employment right there. But nobody has thought about it. And it's as much an industry. You just add the word agriculture as an industry, and it no more is a pariah. And then you're talking about 160 million, whatever number you're talking about. Suddenly there is a scope. So I think management institutions should disabuse themselves of in-the-box kind of thinking. Everything is an opportunity for employment.
We'll close the Q&A session now. And some of you might have been wondering why such a short Q&A. That's primarily because Dr. Chowdhry has to leave. He is taking an evening flight back. But there's a second reason also. Now we see that our academic colleagues have started asking questions. And when academics ask questions, our students know that they could go much beyond a question very soon and could, have major discussions going on this forum for some time. But thank you so much, Suhail and Ognidipta. I'm delighted to give this formal vote of thanks, and let me say, what a treat it has been listening to you, Dr. Chowdhry. It was nothing short of inspiring. Now, some people from outside, those non-IMCians, they often ask us, what makes IIM Calcutta so unique? Professor Chattopadhyay touched on this earlier, and well, it is about academics and accolades. And it's also about the heart and soul of the IMC family, a deep, genuine connection to the grassroots and what is happening around us in India and elsewhere. It's a place where camaraderie thrives, collective learning is celebrated, and we support one another, as Professor Shumanta Boshu so beautifully put it today. Today has truly been a celebration of that spirit. Dr. Chowdhry reminded us of how deeply embedded our value of responsiveness to the nation is. You took us on a journey from creating new ways of value capture to fostering a high-value growth at every level. New opportunities in India with the advent of AI, or with digital public infrastructure, as you have shown, could indeed spark new models of innovation. As Professor Shaumakanti Chakraborty noted earlier, working on all these with a sense of responsibility will guide us to develop as thoughtful and engaged citizens and leaders. Through your arguments, Dr. Chowdhry, public R&D spending in the private sector and moving to a product nation, you have shown us that we could become a leader and look beyond the rut. From organizations doing process innovations to those who seamlessly align their resources with deep innovations, you captured the essence of what we need more of in this world. On behalf of our chairman, Board of Governors, Sri Krishna Kulkarni, our Director in Charge, Professor Shoibal Chattopadhyay, Deans, MBA Chairperson, and all our alumni, students, faculty, and staff, thank you, Dr. Chowdhry, for giving us a delightful glimpse into a new India that we all dream of. Listening to you was like a tour de force in leadership with a side of inspiration. Truly marvelous. Thank you. May we now request our Director in Charge, Professor Shoibal Chattopadhyay, to hand over a bouquet of flowers to Dr. Ajay Chowdhry. May we request our Chairman, Board of Governors, Sri Krishna Kulkarni, to hand over a shawl and a memento to Dr. Ajay Chowdhry.
Will you announce just one second?
You're supposed to announce the awardee. The name.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the flight training? Ready? You can follow.
I would now like to invite Professor Shumanto Basu to kindly announce the first awardee this evening.
I will change. Okay. The first alumnus to receive the Distinguished Alumnus Award 2024 is Sri Sanjay Mukherjee, Alumnus 23rd batch. Sir, may I request Sri Sanjay Mukherjee to come on stage, please. I did. I think director went out. Okay. No, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. May I now request Professor Chattopadhyay to welcome Sri Mukherjee with the shawl. Okay.
We'll have to just wait for the director to come. We thought we'll start it, but there's an interlock there. So just give us a few minutes.
May I now request Professor Rahul Kumar to come on stage and read the citation for Sri Mukherjee.
Thank you, Suhail. So, should we wait? May I? Okay. We take immense pleasure in honoring Sri Sanjay Mukherjee, an alumnus of the 23rd batch of IIM Calcutta, for taking a path less trodden and for his illustrious career in the government sector. Sri Mukherjee, the former Director General and Chief of Police, West Bengal, joined Presidency College, Kolkata to pursue a BSc with honors in economics. After graduating with a first class in economics honors and appearing for CAT in 1986, he got calls from almost all IIMs in India and eventually joined IIM Calcutta for his MBA. He was awarded the National Talent Search Scholarship in Class 10 and had also qualified for admissions to IIT Kharagpur. Sri Sanjay Mukherjee stood 5th in India in the 1989 batch of IPS. In his first posting as SDPO Barakpur, he brought peace to a disturbed industrial area. At the same time, the police under him attained unprecedented popularity. Subsequently, as Deputy Commissioner, Detective Department Special Forces, he planned and personally led 2 extended separate operations, resulting in the capture of the infamous D Company marksmen. Sri Mukherjee was the last IG of the undivided South Bengal zone, where he inculcated professional excellence coupled with strong social commitment. He then became the first police commissioner of Barakpur. For 2 years, as Director General of Fire, Sri Mukherjee headed the West Bengal Fire and Emergency Services Directorate. Under his able leadership, the response of the fire brigade to different large fires had been speedy and massive, preventing fires from spreading and minimizing loss of life and property. The significant increase in transparency, speed, and quality, while granting fire NOCs during his tenure, earned widespread appreciation from stakeholders. After joining the Directorate of Security for a year, he became Chief of CID, West Bengal. Subsequently, in a unique move, he was made Principal Secretary and Head of Department of Correctional Administration. He joined the West Bengal Forensic Science Laboratory in January 2020 as Administrator in the rank of Additional Director General of Police. Shri Mukherjee was promoted to Director General of Police, the highest post for an IPS officer, in January 2022. He started DNA fingerprinting and serology in FSL, while Honorable CM inaugurated the newly constructed and functional regional FSL at Durgapur in February 2023. In January 2024, in an unprecedented step, Shri Mukherjee was brought back as Director General of Police, West Bengal Fire and Emergency Services. He took over the charge of Director General and Inspector General of Police in West Bengal in March 2024. Shri Mukherjee has received several accolades for his service, including the President's Police Medal for Meritorious Service and the President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service. He received the highly prestigious Chief Minister's Police Medal for Outstanding Service. Quizzing has been his passion. He has been on the quiz teams at St. Columbus School, Presidency College, and IIM Calcutta. On Siddharth Basu's pioneering TV program, Quiz Time, he is the only person in India to have qualified in all 3 years. Shri Mukherjee's wife is an associate professor with a PhD in ancient Indian history. His late father, Dr. A.P. Mukherjee, an IPS, had been Director General of Police of West Bengal, Director of CBI, and Governor of Mizoram. We acknowledge Shri Mukherjee's significant contributions as a successful diplomat with an enormous pride and bestow upon him the Institute's highest honor for its alumni, the Distinguished Alumnus Award, given this 14th day of November 2024.
May I now invite Professor Chattopadhyay to please welcome Shri Mukherjee with the shawl. May I request Shri Krishna Kulkarni, Chairman, Board of Governors, to hand over the Distinguished Alumnus Award and the citation scroll to Shri Mukherjee. May I request Shri Mukherjee to please share his thoughts with the audience.
A couple of quick corrections. I am not former Director General of Police. There are actually 10 DGs, and I am one of them. I am heading Fire Service now, but while the Lok Sabha elections were going on, those of you who have nothing better to do than to read the papers will remember that I was made DG of Police by the Election Commission during the elections, and after the elections got over, I was promptly moved out. That's one. Second, it's not that I almost got into all IIMs. I did get into all the IIMs. I got admission letters from all the IIMs. And when I was in this... Thank you. And when I was in my second year of BSc Honours, in my second year I got into IIM Calcutta because second year of Calcutta University was eligible. I got into IIM Calcutta through CAT 85, I think, but I was disqualified because my pass examinations were postponed. So I sat again, and the second time round I got into all the IIMs. Anyway. Respected Chairman, Board of Governors, respected Director in Charge, respected awardees, respected faculty members, especially distinguished faculty members on stage, respected alums, friends watching online, dear friends of the media, and most especially my dear students. It is such a pleasure, such an honor for me to stand here before you today in my alma mater. I was an indifferent student in IIM, and the screening committee for the Distinguished Alumni Award must have spotted gems in me that I myself was blissfully unaware of. As you know by now, after completing my MBA, I chose to march to a different drama, and I can only assume that I am here before you today partly because of my unusual choice of profession. I only wish I could share with you some of my real-life detective stories, which would undoubtedly be much more interesting than what I'm going to inflict on you now. In two of my stories, real-life stories, Mr. Dawood Ibrahim makes a fleeting cameo appearance, but we'll save that for another day. Now then, some of you may recall a book entitled What They Don't Teach You in Harvard Business School by Mark McCormack. Tongue firmly in cheek, I will entitle my speech today, What They Don't Teach You in IIM Calcutta. But while the book, What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School, was quite a thick book, my speech today can be restricted to 2 pages. The meaning is clear. IIM Calcutta does indeed teach almost all of what is required to be taught in a business school. I deeply love my alma mater, and absolutely no disrespect is intended to it in my speech today. And do remember that my 2 years here were the 2 happiest years of my life before marriage. Long live Ramanujam Hall. Long live Ramanujam Hall. Down with White House. Let me commence. I submit to you that at least in my time, IIM Calcutta focused on imparting traits of the intellect at the expense of traits of personality and traits of character. This insight is so powerful that I will repeat it. Our institution focuses, or more appropriately focused, on imparting traits of intellect at the cost of traits of personality and traits of character. I do not here mean spiritual traits. I mean non-spiritual traits of the personality and of the character. I have personally certain reservations about spiritual traits, as also the way they're imparted, but those are purely personal matters. By traits of intellect, I primarily mean scholastic learning, courses of finance, operations, economics, marketing, and so on, are what I would call courses that nurture the traits of the intellect. This is not at all to say that these traits or skills are unimportant. In fact, these are absolutely vital for managers at the middle and top levels, which is what IIM products are groomed to become. But my humble point is not that our institute imparts irrelevant traits. My humble submission instead is that our glorious institute overlooks certain traits of personality and of character in its pedagogy, at least in my time. Possible course corrections in the curriculum may well have rendered part or whole of my exposition today somewhat irrelevant. Let us first turn to traits of personality. Some of these personality traits which make for interpersonal success are extraversion, optimism, and creativity. But the most important personality trait, to my mind, has not been blessed with a name. This trait of personality is the ability to gently make others willingly do what you want them to. It is difficult enough to elicit desired behavior from your juniors. It is a considerable and invaluable art to make strangers or even seniors do what you want them to. And how does one go about doing it? In a single phrase, by creating a win-win situation where you and the other person will both benefit from the course of action you are suggesting. A facile description, I agree, but all that we have time for today. From traits of personality, let us turn to traits of character. Some of the important ones, which are self-explanatory, are empathy, resilience, compassion, courage, and perseverance. But the two most vital traits of character, which are interrelated, are integrity and authenticity. Integrity can be bifurcated into two seemingly banal components. These are tell the truth and don't steal. The maxim, tell the truth, seems self-evident on the surface, but it also precludes organizational vices such as sycophancy and false reporting. Similarly, don't steal is to be taken not only literally, but also to rule out bribery and corruption, the curse of modern India. Finally, connected to integrity is the great overarching character trait of authenticity. It can best be described by that treasure house of wisdom, Shakespeare's Hamlet, where Polonius says to Laertes, "And this above all, to thine own self be true, and it shall follow as the night the day, that thou canst not then be false to any man." How are these traits of personality and of character to be imparted? Unconventional content calls for unconventional pedagogy. I suggest, within the confines of specially designed case studies, verbal duels between two senior managerial practitioners, one believing stoutly in the trait in question and the other considering it redundant or irrelevant. Friends, I have great news for you. My speech is about to end. I said what I did today after considerable thought. I can only pray that it made some sense to some of you. When I began thinking about what to say today, I was tempted to call these traits of personality and of character the keys to managerial success or some such. But I now think they are far deeper, far higher. Far, far higher. Indeed, they are rules to live by, particularly the traits of character. Dear friends, if these traits resonate within your heart, you will remember them on your own without effort. And if you think, as you are at liberty to, that they are just so much hot air, they will enter through one ear and you will dismiss them through the other. This choice of yours is not in my hands. I have spoken from my heart and my mind. I would like to thank my beloved institute once more for the great and, if I may say so, unexpected honor done to me today. I thank every one of you from the bottom of my heart for your patience and forbearance. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. May I now invite Professor Sumanta Basu to announce the second awardee this evening.
I'll change. The second alumnus to receive the Distinguished Alumnus Award 2024 is Mr. Venkat Vishwanathan, Alumnus PGP 30th batch. May I request Mr. Vishwanathan to come on stage, please. Bring both shawl and bouquet together. Thank you, Mr. Vishwanathan. Pleasure to meet you.
May I request Professor Arunima Chakraborty to come on stage and read the citation for Mr. Vishwanathan.
Good afternoon. We take immense pleasure in honoring Mr. Venkat Vishwanathan, an alumnus of the 30th batch of IIM Calcutta, for his stellar entrepreneurial achievement. Venkat Vishwanathan is a first-generation entrepreneur with over 3 decades of experience in data analytics, AI, technology, and management consulting. As the founder and chairperson, Venkat is the visionary behind Latent View Analytics and served as the company's CEO from 2006 to 2014. Under Venkat's leadership, Latent View emerged as one of the fastest growing data analytics firm globally. He has helped several Fortune 500 clients leverage an India-based knowledge services delivery model across industries including financial services, high-tech, consumer retail, and industrials. In 2014, Venkat transitioned into the role of chairperson and hired a professional CEO to scale the business further. In November 2021, Latent View raised rupees 600 crores in an IPO in India, garnering record subscription levels at 338 times. Today, the company is valued at over $1 billion, ranked among India's top 500 listed companies, and is included in both the Nifty 500 and Nifty Small Cap 250 indices. It has also created over 4,000 jobs across India and the US. Latent View's 1,500 plus strong team across global delivery centers currently supports clients in the US, Europe, and Asia, delivering over 90% client satisfaction. Beyond his role at Latent View, Venkat is a mentor to aspiring entrepreneurs and an active figure in the startup ecosystem. He has earned numerous accolades, including the Distinguished Alumnus.
May I request Professor Chattopadhyay to greet Mr. Vishwanathan with the shawl. I request Sri Krishna Kulkarni, Chairman, Board of Governors, to hand over the Distinguished Alumnus Award and the citation scroll to Mr. Vishwanathan. May I now request Mr. Vishwanathan to share a few thoughts.
Thank you. Respected Chairperson, Board of Governors, Director in Charge, Deans and faculty on the stage and in the audience, fellow alumni, students, and everyone watching online. It's indeed a great honor to be present here and have this opportunity to hear from each of you about the Institute's lecture series, as well as our chief guest, Dr. Ajay Chowdhry, and have the opportunity to interact with the students. I'm not going to keep you waiting too long. I realize how things are when you try to get many people from the student population into a room. In fact, my batchmates will tell you that I made a career out of this for many, the 20 months or so that I spent out here in dragging people from various parts of the institute to attend pre-placement talks and other things. So I'm not going to be the person who's going to force others to do it today. I just have 3 things I thought I'll share with some of you, if only because we have spent 30 years outside in the corporate world. And I believe even though this award has been bestowed to me as an individual, I've always believed it's a team sport in terms of entrepreneurship. And there's a big role that every individual in your organization plays in the organization's success. As also, we don't always acknowledge the amount of support and help your family and your friends and many other alumni of IIM Calcutta have provided us through the journey to bring us this far. So the 3 things that I wanted to share with students especially is, number 1, invest in the startup of you, right? In many ways, we expect, having come to a top institute like IIM Calcutta, that you probably feel you have arrived in life and there's not much more left to achieve. But the reality is, this is just one step in the journey that you're going to take. Some of us may not do that well in courses here as well, but that doesn't define you, right? Your real opportunity is how well do you invest in yourself, whether it's in terms of knowledge, upskilling yourself, looking at the changing world, being humble enough to accept the things that you don't know and constantly learn, and also look at yourself as an investment opportunity. What are the things that you would want to see 5 years? At every stage, there are people who have either been our customers or advisors or partners or just sounding boards, and many of whom are actually out here in the audience as well, who have helped us develop the confidence for you to go out and kind of do things. Of course, don't fall into the trap of thinking that, okay, I've decided to start a company, so now everyone should line up to help me. That's not going to happen. You have to probably run the first 25 kilometers of the 42-kilometer marathon, and then you'll suddenly see the last 17 is very easy, because there is a whole lot of people standing next to you, cheering you on, pulling you forward, and getting you to the end. I'm going to stop here because I realize that's the amount of patience that many of you will have. As also, there's probably snacks waiting a few minutes down the line, and I would let Samir get his limelight as well. Thank you.
I'd now like to invite Professor Shumanto Basu to kindly announce the 3rd awardee this evening.
The 3rd alumnus to receive the Distinguished Alumnus Award 2024 is Mr. Samir Gupta, Alumnus PGP 30th Batch. May I request Mr. Gupta to come on stage, please.
May I request Professor Anupama Kundaya to come on stage and read the citation for Mr. Gupta.
Good evening, everyone. We take immense pleasure in honoring Mr. Samir Gupta, an alumnus of the 30th batch of IIM Calcutta, for his outstanding corporate career. Throughout a distinguished career spanning almost 3 decades, Mr. Gupta, or Samir, has led transformative initiatives across major financial institutions and multinational corporations. As Group Chief Analytics Officer and Managing Director at DBS Bank since 2017, he spearheaded the data-first and AI transformations, establishing advanced analytics and AI capabilities, and implementing a data-driven agile model across the bank. His leadership enabled a 10x growth in analytics usage and positioned DBS as an exemplar of AI-driven transformation. The bank's success has received global accolades, including recognition as the best digital bank in the world and a #1 global ranking in AI leadership by the Evident AI Global Banking Index. DBS's AI transformation is now featured in a Harvard Business School case study as a model of excellence. Samir has been featured in the McKinsey Journal for driving AI transformation at the bank, balancing boldness with pragmatism, with a clear mission to industrialize AI across its entire development lifecycle. An influential industry leader, Samir serves on several prestigious advisory boards, providing strategic guidance on data management, responsible AI, analytics, and technology across academia, industry, and government. As chairman of the Standing Committee on Data Management at the Association of Banks in Singapore, he has shaped industry standards for data governance and responsible AI. He is also a member of the Coordinating Committee for Artificial Intelligence set up by the IMDA and Enterprise SG, contributing to the development of AI policies and frameworks in Singapore. In addition, Samir supports future analytics talent as an advisor to the National University of Singapore's Business Analytics Center. Dedicated to contributing to his alma mater, he is the chairman of the International Advisory Board at IIM Calcutta, where he assists in the Institute's internationalization efforts and global outreach initiatives. His influence extends further through his roles as chairman of the COFIT ASEAN Working Group on Interoperable Data Framework and his previous contributions to the McKinsey ML 2.0 Global Technology Council, SAS Analytics, Singapore Department of Statistics, and IBM Unica advisory boards. Samir's growth as a multifaceted leader has been shaped by his international experience across Asia, Europe, and the Americas. Having lived and worked in London, India, and Singapore, he brings a broad global perspective to his leadership and decision-making. Samir holds an undergraduate degree in economics from Hindu College, Delhi University, where he was from 1990 to 1993, and his MBA at IIM Calcutta from 1993 to 1995, where he majored in financial management and international business. Samir and his wife Monica both share the IIM Calcutta bond. Monica is also an alumna, and this is where they actually met. They have two sons, Suchir, who's 20, and Ishan, who's 12. Moreover, the IIM legacy does not stop there. His brother Rajat and sister-in-law Mumal are also alumni. When he is not leading transformative initiatives, Samir is an avid traveler and a self-proclaimed foodie, always on the lookout for his next culinary adventure. We acknowledge Mr. Samir Gupta's significant achievements as an exemplary professional and a leading industry expert with enormous pride and bestow upon him the Institute's highest honor for its alumni, the Distinguished Alumnus Award, given this 14th day of November 2024. Thank you.
May I request Professor Chattopadhyay to greet Mr. Gupta with the shawl? May I request Shri Krishna Kulkarni, Chairman, Board of Governors, to hand over the Distinguished Alumnus Award and the citation scroll to Mr. Gupta. May I request Mr. Gupta to share a few thoughts with the audience?
Good afternoon, everyone. I am very much reminded that I stand before snacks, and that's very important. But I'm going to take 5 minutes to run through some things I want to share. Distinguished members of the faculty, alumni, students, dear friends, my 30th batch colleagues who have made the trip over, Venkat and the other distinguished alumni. It's an incredible honor for me to be back at IIM Calcutta to accept this award. It feels a bit surreal. To be honest, when I got the email, I thought maybe IMC has finally woken up and there are some fines that are due from me, and the systems have finally caught up, and maybe they want to reach out and collect those fines. And then I remembered that, sorry, I'd never borrowed books from the library or any such things, so there couldn't be any fines. Most of my time and most of my learning actually came from it, but learning here has given me a few life skills which are very important. There are three things I wanted to share with you, and this is coming from, the first is Venkat, Kart, as we call him, talked about it, the ability to take risks. I think irrespective of whether you are an entrepreneur or even in your corporate career, it's an important ability. So when I was in IIM Calcutta, I had a placement offer, and it was my dream placement with Coates Vieira in International Trading Division. I wanted to be in the International Trading Division, and I had given up some banking jobs to join that. The first day I joined them in Bangalore, they gave me a letter saying I'm being posted to Madura Coates in their Threads division. I quit on day one without a job in hand. It took me, then I went to Bombay, I looked for a job, I found a job with GE Capital. And when I reflect back on it, that was, this journey of continuous learning is critical. All of us have to reinvent ourselves. The way I look at it, it's always being a broad T-shaped journey. We having broad understanding on a variety of items, but being deep in a couple of items and being deep experts. And that is something that each of us can aspire to and also do ourselves. Nothing should stop us from that learning journey. And if I can do it in AI from a non-engineering background, all of you can do that in any subject that you choose to do it. The third key life lesson is really about friendships and networks. And the friendships that I have formed have really helped and been a big strength through that. But also networks that you form, people that you connect with, your colleagues. And in the beginning of my career, that was not something I focused on. I was an introvert. But as I vibrant mix of personalities, most of them were engineers, and I was the only non-engineer, but each bringing a unique perspective, and over the years, they've been a steady pillar of strength. And they have been together through friendship, laughter, mischief, whatever you can think of, but have been there all the way to inspire and strengthen it. I also want to take the time, a moment to remember my batchmate and a very close friend, Ratish Nair, who passed away earlier this year. In my mind, he was a quintessential IMCN. Very, 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 I can't stress very more, very laid back, but a deep expert in his field. He was a digital marketing guru before.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite Sri Krishna Kulkarni, Chairman, Board of Governors of IIM Calcutta, to address the guests and say a few words. Sir, please.
Thank you so much. For a minute, I thought they're having second thoughts about whether I should be allowed to speak. So thank you so much. I know there's snacks and a free time after this. But before I start, let me say Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namah. Now, many of you will wonder, what is it that I said? And Sanjay, my friend here and colleague on the board, said there are different thoughts different people have. But I would like to share that I just invoked the blessings of the divine Mother Goddess of the universe, Adi Parashakti, to guide me through this pleasant task of giving this. My congratulations to the entire IIM Calcutta community for this selfless service of very high distinction. To stand before you and give an annual talk is a privilege. Thank you for this privilege. Your chief guest spoke about where we as a country should be going from here. Now, I thought about that and I said, I'm going to try and talk to you about where you as individuals should be going as you journey this world. As you traverse this world, I won't be able to help you control your external context, but I can try to help you equip yourself to manage your internal context. In the world in which we are expected to live and to function, on the one hand, we are witnessing phenomenal progress in technology with artificial intelligence being at the heart of this progress. On the other hand, conflicts are increasing around the globe. These conflicts are in all spheres of human endeavor, not just geopolitical conflicts, but also economic, commercial, social, interpersonal conflicts. With so much intelligence and knowledge available to us, I still wonder why are we unable to reduce these conflicts? Do we have internal conflicts? Are our internal conflicts more than that of our previous generations? Are these conflicts which we are witnessing around us manifestations of conflicts within us in any way? These are some questions that came to me before I wrote down what I wanted to share with you. Now look around you and you will see unhappy people as well as happy people. And there are always those kind of people who are almost happy in almost any circumstances. Like children, almost always happy. This throws up some more questions. Is it therefore that intelligence, knowledge, and older age are not necessary factors for happiness? Is there something else? Is it wisdom? Does this imply that the wise have lesser conflicts? Is there something else? Are they happier? I mean, I'm talking about, are the wise who have less conflicts, are they happier than the intelligent? What is the difference between intelligence and wisdom? Is wisdom the ability to be reflective, introspective, tolerant of ambiguity? Is wisdom the ability to think beyond our prejudices? Is it the humility to accept the limitations of our knowledge? Is it therefore an ability to accept life's situations and flow with them? What is it? A wise man has noted, knowledge speaks, but wisdom listens. So I ask myself, how does one acquire wisdom? What quality is necessary to acquire wisdom? The one quality that keeps coming to my mind is inner integrity. Yes, I'm differentiating integrity into two, inner integrity and outer integrity. You will agree that life puts us all through a myriad of experiences, if I may say, a repository of knowledge of experiences. But without integrity, can this repository of knowledge be converted into wisdom? I don't think so. Today, let us together try to explore the significance of inner integrity, not just as a spiritual compass, but as a crucial element in our personal growth, our relationships, and our society at large. And what role, if at all, does inner integrity have in reducing conflicts? The Chandogya Upanishad urges us to look within and discover the ultimate truth, the supreme, the all-pervading, the infinite. It says Tattvamasi, which is this is one of the four Mahavakyas of Vedantic philosophy. That which is the subtlest of all, is the self. It is the truth, and that thou art. But we human beings are limited by our five senses, and therefore it is impossible for us to discover the truth, the self, the infinite. Therefore, we must necessarily step through a process of discovering all that is not the truth, and then what is left will be the truth. And inner integrity is the ability to look at all that is not the truth, all the so-called negative and positive aspects of your minds, of our minds. That is inner integrity. Unmanifest, in Hindi we call it avyakta, latent divinity. While there are different types of integrity, namely moral, ethical, personal, inner integrity is about the harmony between our inner tendencies and our external actions. It's easy to be honest when everyone is watching, but what about those quiet moments when no one is looking? It is in those moments that we can get a glimpse into our innate tendencies. Our mental and physical health flourishes when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. This is happiness. This is a latent divine principle that permeates all human beings. On a more practical note, I would like to suggest that inner integrity be considered as the degree of alignment of the positive and negative aspects in our minds with our intentions, our words, and our actions. Inner integrity is therefore a cornerstone of authenticity for several reasons. It goes beyond mere honesty. It's about being true to oneself for several reasons. It's about being true to oneself, while our outer integrity is the degree of alignment with social expectations. For example, if for some reason we do not like a person or are jealous of a person and in our hearts want this person to fail, not to succeed or to never succeed, but in the public we pretend to be well-wishers, then while there is outer integrity, there is no inner integrity. While on the other hand, if we acknowledge that dislike, that jealousy inside us, then our actions are coming from an actual realization of that truth, the truth that dislike and jealousy are within us. In such a situation where we acknowledge our inner prejudices, then here there is inner integrity. And any action that follows from this inner integrity has the character of truth to it. And this will always help take such an action towards greater good. The individual who is able to manifest this unmanifest, avyakt, latent divinity through his conduct has inner integrity, an essential characteristic to be a happy human being. Let us first delve into how inner integrity plays a critical role in our personal development. First, it fosters self-awareness. When we take the time to reflect on our tendencies and values, we begin to understand what truly matters to us and who we truly are. It is this understanding that better guides our decision-making process, thus allowing us to make those choices that resonate with our true selves. Furthermore, inner integrity builds fearlessness and resilience. Consider individuals who have faced tremendous challenges yet remained steadfast and fearless. Their inner integrity not only helps them weather storms, but also allows them to extract wisdom from their experiences. This concept of resilience is not just about enduring hardship, it is about thriving through it, using every hardship to continuously learn and adapt while remaining true to oneself. The Bhagavad Gita calls this resilience sthita prajna, the ability to be tranquil under all circumstances. Now let us explore the role of inner integrity in our relationships. At the heart of any meaningful relationship is trust. Honest and transparent communication is vital. Inner integrity allows us to show our vulnerability, being open about our feelings and beliefs, even when it is uncomfortable. This is key to cultivating trust and creating a solid foundation for our relationships. In times of conflict, inner integrity shines even brighter. Approaching disagreements with inner integrity allows us to seek solutions that align with and foster mutual respect and understanding. Moreover, when we embody inner integrity, we also inspire those around us Our actions encourage others to reflect on their own inner integrity, creating a ripple effect of authenticity. On a broader scale, inner integrity significantly impacts society. Ethical leadership is crucial in our organizations and communities. Leaders who prioritize inner integrity inspire trust and commitment, fostering environments where people feel valued and respected. This kind of leadership not only drives success, but also encourages social responsibility. Crucially, inner integrity is paramount in social setting of a teacher and students. Leaders without inner integrity send out energy bereft of positivity, resulting in organizations and communities that are a sea of mistrust. Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. Speaking of social responsibility, inner integrity compels us to contribute a culture that values honesty and accountability, ultimately leading to healthier, more cohesive communities. However, maintaining inner integrity is not without challenges. We live in a world filled with external pressures, where societal expectations and peer influences are constantly challenging us and creating internal conflicts. To navigate these challenges, we must develop strategies to maintain our inner integrity. The only way I know is to regularly introspect and fearlessly go within our minds and observe our positive and negative tendencies and acknowledge them. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, he prescribes the following: Nairantarya Dirghakala Abhyasena. In English, this translates to continuous, non-stop, long-duration practice. This is what each of us must do. If the external challenges are constant, then our practice of contemplating on how we are feeling inside also has to be constant until this habit of reacting to situations is broken. When anything happens, if only we could first look inside and see for ourselves how we are feeling and acknowledge our prejudices and tendencies, then and only then can we respond to situations instead of reacting to them, as most people do, although unknowingly. In concluding, truthfulness is considered by most of us to be a virtue, to be worn like a garment of inner integrity. Would you agree with me if I said that lack of inner integrity results in lack of trust, and it is this lack of trust which is at the heart of all conflicts that we are witnessing? You will notice children have inner integrity in abundance. They have fewer conflicts, and when they do, if left to themselves without adult supervision, they are able to resolve them and move forward quickly and amicably. Can we therefore assert that they have innate wisdom? What happens to this inner integrity and innate wisdom as they grow older? This is a question that I leave for each of you to ponder in your own free time and privacy. In summary, inner integrity nurtures authenticity and self-respect by fostering alignment between one's tendencies, words, and actions, thus promoting honesty, accountability, and encouraging meaningful relationships. It creates a foundation for life lived authentically, leading to greater fulfillment, resilience, and mutual trust. Practicing inner integrity means to look at oneself and honestly inquire how you're feeling about a particular person or a particular situation. Acknowledge this feeling to yourself, and subsequent to this acknowledgement, contemplate the action you wish to take. This acknowledgement helps us take actions that are selfless, nishkama karma, without attachment to outcomes. For those of you who are interested, refer to chapter 2, verse 47 of the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna exhorts Arjuna to such actions. If I may be allowed the privilege, I urge you all to reflect on the importance of inner integrity in your own lives. It is not just a personal virtue, but a foundational element that will shape your interactions, your communities, and ultimately our world. As we strive to live authentically, let us remember that our inner integrity is the cornerstone of our character. Let it guide. Talking about artificial intelligence, so I added this line: I would like to leave all of you with a question. Will artificial intelligence be capable of inner integrity? Thank you very much, all of you, for listening with patience. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I express our gratitude to the distinguished alums who have made the institution proud and have honored us by accepting the token of our appreciation, which is the Distinguished Alumnus Award. Foundation Day is a designated day on which celebrations mark the founding of an institution. For an institution like ours, it's an opportunity to come together and celebrate our proud history with the faculty, students, and the alum community.
Every year we celebrate our Foundation Day to commemorate the day our institute was established. It is significant not only because of the number of years it has served the community, but because it also creates an opportunity to connect to the energy of this moment of remembrance, a chance to remind ourselves and re-remind about the humble beginnings of the institution.
The 2024 Foundation Day celebration is a culmination of efforts of several individuals. May I request Professor Soumyakanti Chakraborty, Chairperson, MBA Program, to propose the vote of thanks. Sir, please.
It is my great honor and privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on this significant occasion, our Foundation Day and the 35th lecture in our prestigious Institute Lecture Series. The Foundation Day celebration and the Institute Lecture Series are undoubtedly among the most cherished events on our academic calendar. They remind us of our shared journey and bring us together to honor our collective progress and our distinguished legacy. To our honored alumni here today, thank you for the remarkable achievements you have accomplished in your careers and for the lasting contributions you have made to society, to our country, and to this institution. This day is indeed a proud one for all of you and equally for all of us. Nothing brings more joy to an educator than to see their students succeed in the world, and nothing is more heartwarming than welcoming you back to celebrate your achievements. I extend my sincere gratitude to our chairman and the esteemed members of the Board of Governors for their invaluable guidance and steadfast support. Your leadership is crucial to our continued success and growth. To our alumni who have traveled from near and far to join us today, thank you. Your active participation enriches our community and makes this event all the more special. My heartfelt thanks to my esteemed faculty colleagues for their unwavering support and dedicated efforts in organizing this event. Your contributions in various roles and capacities are invaluable in making today's event such a success. Behind every successful event lies the dedication of our administrative and support staff. For weeks, you have worked tirelessly to bring this event to life. I'm deeply grateful for your commitment, and I thank you all for your remarkable efforts in making this day a memorable one. My gratitude also goes to the members of the press and media for your presence and for sharing this event with the broader public. Last but certainly not the least, to our students, thank you for joining us today in such large numbers and for embracing the spirit of our Foundation Day and the 35th lecture in the Institute Lecture Series. Your enthusiasm is testament to the vibrant future of our institute. Once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your presence, your support, and your participation in today's celebrations. Thank you.
Thank you. May I request the DA awardees to please come on stage. We'll have a group photograph, and after that we'll close. Whatever the evening snacks is there, I think that is outside. So it's only 2 minutes. Actually, only I announce the evening snacks, everyone will pick up. That's fine, that's fine. We'll just have a photograph, that's okay.